Chabad is joy, and Chabad is love and warmth.
They couldn't be more welcoming, they couldn't be more gracious, accepting. It didn't matter what your level of religious observance was.
Part of what's special about the Olney Chabad is that you are accepted as who you are.
Warmth is their specialty, and that's very true.
Betsy and I moved here 5 years ago to establish Chabad Olney. Our goal was to establish a center that would provide the opportunity for every Jew, regardless of background or level of observance, to experience the beauty of our shared heritage. The only challenge was that we didn't know anyone.
I remember driving down from New York, the city that never sleeps, the city where we both grew up, and we come to this little town called Olney we haven't heard of before. And we get out, we arrive, and we start strolling down the town center. And Dora turns to me and says, "Are there even people here? Never mind Jews." But in August 2012, we moved, and we woke up the next morning asking ourselves, why did we move down and leave our family and friends back in Brooklyn to this quiet little town? But after our inaugural event, we did a beautiful Sukkah celebration where we met some 40, 50 wonderful community members, warm and excited, and we immediately had an answer to our question of why we were here.
We continued to meet Jews of all backgrounds, and each had their own personal story. Each individual that we got to know gave us a deeper appreciation for the purpose of founding Chabad Olney.
We wouldn't have believed it 5 years ago, but the reality is that Chabad has reached the lives and touched the lives of countless individuals, one person at a time, one heart at a time.
One day I was at the gym and I met this woman, Linda, and she was talking about making challah, and I said, what are you doing? So she turned to me and she said, why don't you come? Come make challah with us. With who? With Chabad. The Rebbitzin got in touch with me. And the next thing I know, this man, a long coat with the white shirt, so he comes to the door and I'll let him in because look at him. I mean, he didn't look like he was going to try to sell me anything, but he did sell me something. He sold me Chabad. And the first thing he did, because I hadn't been well, was to protect my house and have Hashem protect my house. We put mezuzot all over the house that had been missed.
My first experience with the Chabad of Olney was at the rabbi's house during the first Friday night dinner. Everybody was so friendly and so happy to be there. It really, really struck me. I just felt at home.
One of the things that I especially have enjoyed are the Jewish Learning Institute classes. 6 weeks, Tuesday nights, couple hours, and I've learned amazing things. I've taken many. I have several textbooks on my bookshelf.
When my husband moved into Olney assisted living, Rabbi came on Friday afternoons. We had a separate room. My husband actually did recite some of the prayers, and he actually sang some of the songs that he remembered, and it meant a lot to him. Many occasions, he would bring the children to the facility, and everybody just adored them. They were so adorable and so good. And when I would come to visit my husband that day, he would make sure that he would tell me.
About 4 years ago, we were participating in another Jewish organization for Hebrew school, and not 100% thrilled with how they were learning. And we called Devorah, who had been here for about a year, and said, hey, how do you feel about tutoring my 2 kids next year? They would be entering kindergarten and 2nd grade. And she said, that sounds great, except it's Erev Rosh Hashanah. Can we talk about this in 3 weeks after all the holidays? And I said, absolutely. And we regrouped 4 weeks later, and I had recruited 3 other families to come to tutoring, which ended up being a Hebrew school setting with 9 kids and in their home, in Rabbi Benzi and Devorah's home every Sunday morning. And the kids had an amazing time, and word started to spread, and look at where we are 4 years later with 40 kids, and we're still outgrowing every building that we are in.
We love Hebrew School of the Arts!
Coming to Hebrew School of the Arts has really given me a chance to connect with my cultural identity, and it's shown me what being a Jew really means, and it's been a really fun experience, and I can't wait to come back to Hebrew School of the Arts.
It's very experiential. It's hard to come in and out 1 week and not come home with some type of hands-on craft or activity or stories about an experiment that was done. Rabbi Benzi is the first to say that we're not here to create rabbis and scholars, but to instill a love of Jewish learning and a sense of pride to be Jewish.
As much as we've accomplished, there's so much more to do. When I think of the smiling faces of our Hebrew school children, I think of all those children that have not yet been reached and how they too can use a Jewish education. Our plans for the future, we plan to launch a teen program where our teens can continue to have an education in the same warm environment that they have in their Hebrew school.
We envision a permanent place, a permanent home. We already have a beautiful location on Georgia Avenue, secured, and God willing, and with the help of community members, we see a permanent place, a home where every person walking through its doors will feel at home and will be able to continue and to grow the tremendous impact and work that we've accomplished so far. Until every Jew in our town, in our community, is given the opportunity to discover their heritage, and till every child is given the opportunity to appreciate the joy and the excitement of Judaism, our work is not yet done. The best is yet to come.